So slow.
Welcome. This is my model railway build channel and I'll be your host, Jason. So today I'm going to take you around and sort of show you a few little bits and pieces that I've sort of accomplished over the last month. Now it's taken a little while to get this video out, not for any other reason than just got the winter blues. You see, where I am at the moment, we're in the middle of winter, we've still got another month. And while I don't really care about the cold too much, it's been very soggy and wet and it's just been miserable, and I just haven't felt like getting up here too often. I guess the other thing over the last few weeks, well, probably 3 or 4 weeks, one of the main issues I've been facing and trying to sort through is my 3D resin printer. You see, I was about to get to a point where I was about to throw it through the friggin' window. But you see, it wasn't a machine, it was the operator. You see, I like to tweak things, change things, and you see, I was sort of experimenting and doing some mods on the machine, and basically it sort of threw it out a little bit. So anyway, had to go back, set it back up to factory settings. And right now, over the last week, I've been just sort of dialing in the resin that I've got and trying to get that right. But anyway, live and learn.
Yeah, you dumbass.
Shut the fuck up. Let's go check out what I've done. So first up, I guess in the last month, I've sort of been looking at and working on the channel branding. And I sort of come up with this. It was actually my wife's idea, because originally I just had the Escarpment, my model railway build, and had that crossed out and just a fix there. But she suggested, well, what's that mean? That means what, you've screwed up your layout and you're fixing it? And I thought, no, well, that's not the meaning I was representing. But anyway, so she gave me the idea of the syringes, but now that she's seen it in real life, she's sort of freaked out thinking people are going to get offended by that. But anyway, there you have it. So that's just something I've been working on. Also down here, I've got my LED strips. They've come in last week. There's 4 rolls there. Each roll's got about 20 meters of strip each. So all up I've got about 80 meters in length of the LED lights. Now basically at the moment I'm thinking I'll probably end up doing 2 strips per level, and that's why I've gotten so much of it. And in front of that there you can see that's my power supply. It's a 24 volt 15 amp supply, because the lights are basically 24 volts. So that's something, I guess once I put that in place over there midway, just about over there, I'm going to have to design another power box there. I'll have some switches for each of the levels, plus I'll have some DC and amp displays on the front so I can see what I'm actually running, just to make sure I'm not hitting the ceiling or getting close to the ceiling of the power supply. So this month also saw a major milestone where I've got the second storage cabinet for my models completed. You can see over there on the left hand side. Now basically duplication of the first one. The only main difference is the thickness of that front face compared to that one. So back when I was building this one, I actually had sheets of 15mm plywood. Now I went to Bunnings trying to find just a small sheet, because I really only needed a small sheet to do these front faces. I didn't have a need to buy a large sheet for anywhere else on the layout, but unfortunately they didn't cut the smaller sheets anymore and sold them separately. It was all a large sheet or nothing. So decided, okay, well I'm going to do 12mm on the front face. You can see there I've done the lining inside with velvet. That's in every drawer, same as the first one. They do have different mechanisms on the drawer hardware, where these ones lock in place, where these ones here, they're just a straight pull out, push in. So yeah, very happy with that, because basically I did struggle completing this second one. I just had issues with just trying to find motivation, and maybe that comes back to just the winter months at the moment and being so damp. I just wasn't in the mood. So you can see here another accomplishment this month saw a couple coats on the floating Helix fascia. You can see there's a couple patches I need to do. I didn't quite fill in the screw holes properly, and when I put the first coat on, it sort of showed really well. It's just something I overlooked. So I've also got this side on and painted. You can see there. Made a bit of a blooper over here, because basically I put this section on here. Now this is going to be a full face. I'm not going to have the portals cut out due to the fact that this area here is going to be all scenery up and over this. There's going to be a portal tunnel here, and basically I may come back and need to maybe cut this section out and make it along the height of that and then come down, but I'm still trying to work out what I'm going to do there as far as the scenery goes. But the blunder that I had here was basically I've put it on and I've started to fill in the holes. Now the problem is last video I mentioned that before I put this on, I actually painted the other side of it to make sure I sealed the MDF board. Well, I haven't done it to this one yet. So anyway, it's not a big deal. I can chip away at those holes and get access to the screws again and take it off so I can paint the other side. I think before I do that, I'll probably come in with my tool and cut that lip off the top, so I'm not wasting paint and painting a greater area than I need to. For those that haven't caught my last video, on there I sort of show you the tool that I'm using to sort of come in afterwards and cut these lips at a certain height. So part of, well, being in winter and all, I actually went out and got myself a new heater, and you can see it right there. Now it's not a full-on industrial strength type one. You can see here it's got the coils that heat up. It's not a gas furnace or anything like that, but it's ideal for the size of this room. It does it very well. And I think I picked it up off eBay. I think it was around 130, but I think I got a voucher of some sort, and it only actually cost me 118 at the end of the day, but it was an excellent investment. I've sort of gone through a couple heaters up here and they just didn't suit the room, but this one is actually excellent. And I guess during winter too, it just helps drying that paint and stuff like that. Now up here on level 3, you can see I've started to put the first coat on. As I said in my previous video, I'm going to seal the back end of these boards just to sort of help and make sure moisture doesn't get into them, because yeah, moisture and MDF just does not mix. You can sort of see up there. I've also started to paint some of the baseboard as well. You're probably wondering what's going on here. So this piece here was originally a support from here down to the bottom baseboard on level 1. Now when I put this section in, when I was doing the backdrop, and I'll come back to that in a moment, when I was putting this section in down here, it didn't quite align correctly to this one over here. So now I've got another board I've got to cut out, but this time fits from the baseboard up all the way to level 3 baseboard. But this time I'll have it in alignment with this, because I have a portal tunnel that will be here, and I just need to make sure it's, I guess, 90 degrees to the curved track. Another thing you can see there, coming back to the backdrop, I've got that in place. It's painted. I think the last video you would have seen it not actually in place, but it was sort of just loosely fitted there and not painted, but that's all done. I've got that in up to this point right here. Now I've still got to do this section here, but what's going to be different is, instead of on the inside, as it comes around here, It's not going to be on the inside and going up to that point there. Once it gets to this point here, it'll actually be cut out in a way where it crosses over the track, and then the backdrop will come across to this side, but it will be the full length right down to the bottom all the way up to this sort of height up here. This scene here with the viaduct, it's going to be a pretty full-on scene, but we'll get more into that as the months progress. The other thing I've sort of done to this scene, for those also that have watched my viaduct series, I've started to do some 3D resin printing. You can see there I've done the caps. I may redo it, I don't know just yet. Obviously I've done some mods to my printer, so I might just print one again and just see whether or not it's worthwhile reprinting or using what I've got there. The future plans for this viaduct is basically it will be skinned with brickwork. I've retweaked this portal entrance. There was a comment in the last video or the video before, I can't remember now, that maybe it'd been too high and it looked like it was just squished from the double portal that I have, but that wasn't the case. But I can see the point there, so what I've done is come in and lowered that down a bit, and it's a little bit more rounder, not so much a peak and as high as it is on that prototype that I printed off. But anyway, I'm just doing the inside portal. I'll come back, test it against that loco and see whether or not that's ready to go. So just a quick shout out to Joe and Peter over It's Train Time channel. Apparently I actually won a prize over there, a mug with It's Train Time coming my way. So thanks Joe, thanks for the prize. That's what I've done to date. Obviously there's still a lot of work. I thought I was on a home straight, especially around all the infrastructure and finishing that off, so basically I can start then roughing in some of the terrain. But I've still got a little bit to do. I've got the LED stuff there in place now. I do need to build out a custom LED power box. Also got to do the control panels. Now they shouldn't be too far away, but it could be still another couple videos away, because obviously I've still got a bit of fascia that I need to complete here over on the floating helix, and then obviously I've got to fill in the backdrop to this first helix. But anyway, I'll catch you on the next video. Until then, stay safe. Bye for now.